This is FYI on your TV. I'm Kathy Botham. I have got Christy Tate Angel back with me. You're the artistic director at the Perth Community Choir with a new play out.
We are very excited to be working on Matilda this year with our team. We've been working since we did our auditions in the spring. I did a 2-day boot camp with the youth chorus to work on choreography and music in the spring, and then we started up rehearsing in September, and we've been working very hard since then.
Very hard, very hard. Now, you've been with the Perth Community Choir for quite some time now, too.
I'm somewhere between 15 and 20 years was when I did my first show with them, and then I've done quite a few since.
Quite a few. What was your first show?
My first show was, you know what, I said Sweeney Todd earlier, but it was actually before that I did The Mikado.
Okay,
yeah.
Okay. And now you're doing Matilda this year. Let's talk a little bit about the play. What's it about?
So Matilda is based on the Roald Dahl novel by the same name, and a lot of people know there was a film version of it years ago. I think when I was a kid it came out with Danny DeVito and a couple other people in it, and it's about a little girl who has utterly terrible parents, and she is brilliant, and she ends up getting sent off to an utterly terrible school in very Roald Dahl typical black and white and evil is evil and good is good fashion. And she actually discovers she has magical powers, that she can use her eyes to move things, and meets a lovely teacher. And it's just her journey from being in a really terrible life to sort of creating something better for herself.
Now, how do you choose plays?
A lot of the time it's just based on what you enjoy, but I also, when I put a proposal forward, I also think about what the audience draw is going to be for it and how castable it is. There's some fantastic shows out there, but if you know you don't have people in the community who could necessarily fit into the roles, it's probably not a great choice for us to do. I would rather have something that I knew we had the talent pool for, so we could do something with our best abilities.
Now, I don't know where you find all the time to do this, because you're also a teacher at St. Francis School, and you did Shrek this past year too at St. Francis School. So you're with the Perth Community Choir. You're a kindergarten teacher.
I teach spec ed this year.
Spec ed this year, and then you also directed a play at St. Francis School, which was Shrek Junior too. Let's talk about that, because that was so successful.
Shrek Junior was so much fun. We had just under 80 kids in it by the time all was said and done, and all ages from kindergarten were the only ones who weren't in it. From grade 1 up to grade 6 were included in it, and just a super fun opportunity for kids to discover talents and get to do something they might not normally get to do.
Now, my grandson goes to St. Francis School, and the moment I walked into the gym, it was transformed. It was amazing what you had done to the gym.
It was a pretty big team effort. Unfortunately, a lot of the stages they build into schools now aren't really suitable. It's not very high off the ground, and with 80 kids, you have to work around. So we borrowed a pop-up stage, and then we built a ton of risers. So we now basically have our own pop-up stage we can rebuild at the school for our production this year. So we're building capacity for our theater program.
And you have one in mind as well, too.
We certainly do. We are doing Annie Junior this year with the kids.
Excellent.
So I'm already hearing constantly from the kids questions about when we're starting and when the auditions are and when notes go home. So the kids are very, very excited about it.
Oh, that's great. That's great. So Matilda, when does that air?
So Matilda is going to be starting November 16th. So we run the 16th, 17th, 18th, 19th. We do 5 shows over 1 weekend.
And that is at PDCI?
It'll be at, the Mason Auditorium at PDCI.
How do you get tickets?
So tickets will be available through our Perth Community Choir website, and they should be available for sale later this week. So if people go onto the PCC website, it's perthcommunitychoir.com. They can sign up for updates with us there. It'll also be up on our Facebook page, so those are great places to look for when those tickets go on sale. And we have sold out our last 5 shows.
Wow.
So get your tickets early if you want to go get your tickets early, because I think this is going to sell out again this year.
Now, how many plays do you put out at the Perth Community Choir a year?
Perth Community Choir does 1 a year.
And then you do 1 a year at St. Francis.
And I do 1 a year at St. Francis, and then I last year did a show with the Studio Theatre in Perth, so always keep on my toes.
I believe you went to New York this year too. You went to an awful lot of plays.
I did a session. Music Theatre International, who actually holds the rights to Matilda and to Annie, do a teacher's workshop every summer. So this year I splurged and I did a 4-day workshop in New York on set design and costume design and lighting, and got to work with a lot of people on the production teams of the shows we went to see. So that was like, we worked with a director from one show and then we saw her show. So it was a very neat back and forth between what the production end looked like and I'm hopefully bringing a lot of my new learning to both the school and to Perth Community Choir.
Absolutely, I'm sure you will, with a lot of experience too. You say like almost 20 years.
Yeah, the first school play I did was 19 years ago now, and then I've been on stage. My first play was with my cousins, was Rapunzel, Rapunzel, Get Down and Boogie. It involved a very lovely blanket for hair, and I think we were probably 6 or 7, and it devolved into a complete and total knockdown, drag out fight when we were performing for our family. So I've been doing this for a while.
You've come a long way, right?
I have far fewer knockdown dragouts.
Oh, there you go, there you go. So again, Matilda, that is going to be playing November 16th to the 19th?
Yep.
And tickets, you can get them again?
PerthCommunityChoir.com.
Excellent, excellent. Well, thank you very much for coming here. It's early in the morning because you're off to school to teach spec ed.
Looking forward to it.
Excellent, excellent. Well, break a leg.
Thank you, and thanks for having me back.
Thank you.